So today I will be talking about the physics of bumper cars. There's nothing like going to the fair or an amusement park and seeing that long line just to ride bumper cars. The inner child lights up inside of you as you finally get into a bumper car, strap yourself in, and wait for that loud buzzing in order for you to go. As a child, I've always wondered how bumper cars work and their involvement in science. Luckily, I'm the one that's able to talk about that today. Newton's laws of motion. As we all may have guessed, Newton's law of motion plays a huge part in the excitement of this ride. Newton's first law, the law of inertia, talks about how objects move when they're in motion. This law says that objects in motion tend to stay in motion unless they're acted upon by an outside force. Newton's second law of motion. Newton's second law, the law of acceleration, states that an object's mass and the force applied to it will influence how much the object moves. Under this law, it's understood that bigger objects take more force to move than smaller objects, and when more force is applied, more acceleration can be witnessed. Newton's third law of motion. This law, known as the law of interactions, states that every action produces an equal and opposite reaction. So if you're in a bumper car and you hit someone, that person will feel a force from you, but you will also feel a force that is the same magnitude from them. Bumper car mechanics. Though in the real world, collisions can mean serious accidents or injuries for people in vehicles. Bumper cars are created with special rubber linings on the outsides of the cars to protect against damage. These rubber linings are what soften the impact and help the cars bounce off each other. While electrical energy drives the cars to collide with each other, the rubber acts as a special barrier between cars, which can alter movement and angles of impact. In some cases, the rubber lining will readjust the direction of the bumper car to create an entirely new trajectory. Momentum, impulse, and collisions. Several different variables can influence how someone will experience driving a bumper car and colliding into another. The two cars' masses, the weights of the drivers, and the velocities at which it's traveling can affect how each car and driver reacts after a collision. If the two people in the cars have different masses, the larger driver will move around less upon impact. Similarly, the driver who is traveling fastest will move the other car more when contact is made. Safety and fun. Driving bumper cars can almost always guarantee a great time. The law of inertia, however, can have a negative effect on drivers who don't follow basic safety rules and wear seatbelts in bumper cars. This is because the body of a driver will keep moving in the way it was initially moving upon impact, which can result in the driver possibly being thrown from a bumper car if they aren't properly restrained. Much like when driving in a vehicle on a street, it's important to buckle up and prepare oneself for bumps along the road. So this is my works cited page, and I'm just going to do a brief overview of what I just talked about. We did talk about the physics of bumper cars. We talked about all the Newton's laws of motion, the first, the second, and the third. We also talked about bumper car mechanics, meaning we just talked about the lining on the car that protects us from impact. We talked about the momentum, impulse, and collisions. This slide talks about the different weight of the driver, the car masses, and the velocities, and how that can affect each car and how each driver may react to that collision. Last slide talks about safety and fun. It talks about how, when you're driving in the actual car, how the basic safety rules still apply in a bumper car as well.